1-800-818-2255.
And Dr. K.G. Lucas is in the studio with us now. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
Good morning, I'm good.
All right. Well, what are we talking about today?
Inflammatory diseases.
Inflammatory disease. Seems like a lot of things are blamed on inflammation, though, right?
Yeah, not inflammatory comments, just inflammatory diseases.
We'll save the comments for later. That'll come when the video's posted. Then we'll get the inflammatory comments. All right?
I mean, the immune system is very important. It protects you against all kinds of organisms that may try to attack your body. So it is very important to have an immune system, but sometimes it can go crazy and attack the wrong things.
So the immune system is what causes inflammation, or is that's kind of the
inflammation is just setting off the immune system. That's all it means. Usually it means setting off in the wrong way, because if you talk about infections, the immune system is supposed to fight infections or toxins or any other kind of thing that might upset your body. But the results of inflammation or infection causing the immune system to activate sometimes are fever and chills and achiness and other things that you would think that the infection caused, but it may be the immune system causing it to try to heal your body quicker. But in some people, it's usually a genetic predisposition to an inflammatory reaction against your own body, part of your own body. Or a hypersensitivity. There's other people that are like allergic to things or sensitive to things, and that's the immune system acting up a little bit abnormally. But that's inherited.
Yeah, is inflammation behind a lot of other disorders? I mean, why are we talking about it here on Sugar?
So we're talking about it because if you talk about each system, and anything that ends in itis, I-T-I-S, is inflammation. So
arthritis.
Arthritis would be an inflammation of the joints, arthralgias or pain in the joints, but that refers to joints. Hepatitis is the inflammation of the liver. So inflammation can cause, when we talk about fatty liver, we talk about inflammation of the liver after the fat is in it, and that causes steatohepatitis or fatty liver hepatitis or NASH, which can lead to cirrhosis, so that's important. Inflammation of the bowel can cause ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease, and that's when the body attacks its own cells in the intestines and the colon. And also diabetes is caused by inflammation of the cells that make insulin, type 1 diabetes. And then thyroid, you can have thyroiditis, which means that your body attacks the thyroid and kills it, or overstimulates it. So there's inflammatory diseases all over the place. There's lots of other ones like lupus and Sjogren's and scleroderma, and they attack like multiple areas of the body.
You mentioned ulcerative colitis. And Crohn's disease. Are they so similar that they're hard to separate?
They're treated the same way. They are similar, but ulcerative colitis is superficial, like shallow ulcerations in the surface of the intestine, and Crohn's goes all the way through. So it's an inflammation that goes all the way through. It can cause abnormal connections between parts of the body called fistulas. And so that's a little bit different, but they're treated very similarly.
Okay. Now, what does this have to do then with what you're studying and what you do at Lucas Research?
Well, it seems like what we're doing is getting into a lot of medications for inflammation. And the medications can help multiple things. For example, we're going to do some skin diseases that are inflammatory. Atopic dermatitis, which is eczema, and people think of that as only affecting babies, but it can affect adults too, and it's an inflammatory reaction in the skin. Also, that hidradenitis we talked about that we can't pronounce, those little nodules under the armpits and the groin area are inflammatory. So a lot of medications which affect the immune system in some way are used for multiple diseases. So there's some that are used for inflammatory reactions in the skin, other ones are used for stomach problems or intestinal inflammatory reactions.
There's a lot of over-the-counter medications that are being advertised as protecting your immune system. Is this something that, whether or not those are useful or not, is that something that that's our goal here is to try to develop ways to protect the immune system?
Well, the best way, of course, is to get a good night's sleep.
Really?
And not be stressed. Stress affects the immune system. Things over the counter usually contain like vitamin C, which, who knows Who knows if that really helps you when you have a cold, but it doesn't hurt to take it. I mean, your body gets rid of it if you don't need it. There's echinacea, there's zinc, there's different things that are in the immune system modulators, but they're not going to help inflammatory diseases. That's a pretty severe thing. And so if you have ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease, there's not a lot of over-the-counter stuff that's going to help a disease. You really need a prescription medication.
I think a lot of us kind of old school think take 2 aspirin. You know, it's an inflammatory disease. That must be something that we do.
And that may help some of it. That helps usually the fever, like aspirin and Tylenol. It's going to help the fever. Aspirin helps inflammation of the joints. So it helps a little bit, for sure. As long as it doesn't erode your stomach or
that's right. It's a different time.
Bother you in any way, make you bleed.
Yeah.
But some of these medications are just they're immune modulators, and so they're monoclonal antibodies. They make antibodies against part of the immune system so that it shuts down that part partially. And so that seems to help a lot of diseases that are caused by the immune system. However, if it shuts down part of the immune system, is that going to predispose you to get infections? And that's one of the, common side effects of some types of these medications is that you're a little bit more prone to infection. You have to be aware of that. But in general, they are not as bad as they used to be as far as shutting down, because the older ones shut down the immune system a lot more than the newer ones. The new ones are more selective in the part that they block. So the studies we're having starting like in the next week or two would be the ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease studies, and we have atopic dermatitis or eczema studies. So anybody with pretty severe eczema that's over 18, apparently everybody gets this drug. There's no placebo group. This is a very early stage in development, the phase 2, and so they're going to do a little study with about 30 people. And then they're going to do a bigger study with thousands of people. So they're starting with this, but apparently they've had really good results with clearing up eczema. Eczema is very hard to get rid of. A lot of people use steroid creams because cortisone, of course, blocks the immune system. Cortisone is a very strong anti-inflammatory medication, but it causes lots of side effects. And on the skin, rubbing steroids on the skin makes the skin thinner, more prone to damage and bruising. So if you have a medication that's injectable under the skin every week, then that clears it up. Then you don't have to rub all this stuff on your skin and cause a lot of other problems. And of course, oral prednisone has a lot of side effects, but it clears up a lot of things. I mean, it's great for arthritis, but then it makes you lose bone and get diabetes and high blood pressure and high cholesterol. So steroids in general have a lot of side effects.
So you're looking for some alternatives
right.
to the typical steroids.
Something easier, like if you just had to do a little shot under your skin once a week and all your skin was cleared up, that would be great.
We'll have more to come in just a moment. If you have questions you'd like to ask Dr. Lucas, you can reach us at 800-818-2255. We're the local numbers.
247-7282 or 353-4674.
We'll have more to come in a moment.